Back on track now, new year, new start, new job. Key thing for me is the posterior train on the legs. So I'm developing the plan to include legs 3 times a week.
You might not get a second chance. That's probably one of the realest shit someone's ever told me. You can do anything you put your mind to. Don't fuck up, please.
Yes, I'm back. It's been a while, I know. Kind of lost my way a little bit. Coming off the back of the competition, the goal was to then start bulking up gradually. With the goal in mind, it was to obviously compete on stage. Got what I got. And then after that, I just felt a little bit lost. And it's a common theme, like once we've achieved that goal, where you go from there. For me, I did have goals set out. So one of them being obviously deadlifting 3 times my body weight. But it wasn't a goal that in the long run you end up presenting, if that makes sense. So stepping on stage, you're working towards a goal to then present that and obviously compete. So just deadlifting 3 times your body weight, you're just deadlifting 3 times your body weight. Back on track now, new year, new start, new job, new plan, but yeah, loving it. So obviously getting the food back in over Christmas, put a few extra pounds on as you do. But it is what it is. So the strength has come back relatively quickly, to be fair. My maths has gone downhill a little bit though. I'm trying to bench 110 kilos, which I've never touched or come close to before. I think the most I've ever benched is about 102.5 kilos. So it's almost like back to the drawing board. With that being said though, like I'm loving the plan at the minute, and I'm actually loving being back on prep in terms of like setting out the meals, because before it was just like intuitive eating. Now I know what I'm doing, but then it just gets to a point where because you don't have a plan, it's so easy to go off course. And that's exactly what I was doing. Obviously I bought all that chocolate pre-Christmas. Some of it did get smashed, a lot of it's still in the cupboard, or my lad's taking it home with him, which I'm thankful for. So for me, it's now just gradually building it back up again. So the goal for the past 2 weeks is to start increasing my cardio, because I've barely touched that. With this new job, it was just obviously mapping out where I'm going to be, how I'm going to play the nutrition, etc. Because the last job I had a microwave all set up. Turns out where I'm at now, got a microwave set up and everything. So there's no excuse for me to be like sacrificing food now. So all the plans set out now. I know where I'm going to be and where I'm at. The plan's in action as we speak. And the deadlift has probably taken about 30 kilos off since last year. So it's not something I really touched during prep. The heaviest I lifted was 182 or 182.5 kilos. But I'm sitting at 155, but that is not my maximum pull. So the plan that I've got in place is to emphasize working towards that. So a key thing for me is the posterior train on the legs. So I'm developing the plan to include legs 3 times a week. And I've split that plan nicely so that I'm not taxing them too much, but I'm still gaining enough within the workout in order to promote that growth. The plan of action this week is to be on point with my nutrition. I did get up to about 165 pounds. And that was out of shape-ish. So now I'm back down to 158. Start pulling it back in a little bit and make sure that I'm actually hitting that cardio. So the one thing that I've implemented quite heavily now is scheduling out my day. With the job I had before, I couldn't really do that because I never knew when I'd be starting the next day and what time I'd be finishing it. And that was the key thing. Never knowing what time I was finishing hindered quite a lot in terms of what I could plan after work, because for all I know I could have been finished at 4 o'clock, I could have been finished at 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Now that I've got a consistent working hours, I know pretty much when I'll be finished, and that gives me a better perspective of how much time I've got in the afternoons and what I can do with that time. And the same goes for the mornings as well, like start time to finish time. So now, since the new year, I've actually structured my days now, like even at weekends, but the only day off I have is the Sunday. It's just as a free day, because you've got to find that right balance with life. You can't be too strict all the time, especially like not being on prep. So it's just putting that into plan and consistently sticking to it and just ticking off those little small wins that we're doing every day. So for me, is literally sticking to that schedule. And what I'm finding is I'm completing those tasks before they're actually due to be completed. It's key to factor that in and try your best to schedule your day out, just so because what we find, if we don't plan our day out, all these little things start coming into play, like, oh, I've got to do this as well, oh, I've got to do that as well. And you'll find that over time, that just gradually builds up. And the stuff that you should be focusing on and actually getting done doesn't get done. You focus on the little minuscule bits that could be done at a later time once the bigger tasks are completed. Mapping out your day, even if you sit down the night before and map out your day, it's far better than just winging it as you go. So that being said, I hope everyone's ready to smash their week. I know I am. So peace out. Good to be back.